operations. How many would like that? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give it to you. This is a system that I've developed and I've also gotten from other people. I've taken stuff that they've done and distilled it into an 18-minute process. Tomorrow we'll walk through the actual steps that I've developed, and then on Saturday, I think I've got my days right. Anyway, the next day, we'll actually walk through the exercise so you get a feeling of what that is. So Monday morning, you'll have gone through it and you can be more comfortable, and then we've got other stuff to help support you in using it. Fine. They're telling me lunch break is noon, so we'll take a longer Q&A. So we've got half an hour. And I can go on for half an hour, so if you can go to the mic with your question. We'll start at whoever says something first on the mic.
I just wanted to ask about your starting. When you said you start it and then walk away, you said you think in your video you let it run for 30 minutes, and then you come back and check it, and you said you do the 5-minute time frame, but if you started it like to do the London session, and you just let it run up until 7 o'clock, I mean, can you keep letting it run, or do you have to stop and start it in like 45, 30-minute increments or whatever?
Oh, no, you can keep it running.
So is it more effective if you just start at like 2 in the morning and let it run till...
Oh, sure. One of our programmers, I think he's had it running for almost a month straight, just to make sure it doesn't do anything crazy. But because Hercules is looking at such a small time frame, it doesn't matter if you keep it running, because it's only going to give you maybe half an hour or an hour at most in that whole graph. So keeping it running from 2 o'clock would be a great idea. If you're technically savvy at all, you can actually have Windows, you can go in and make it start it for you. So you could have Windows run Hercules automatically at like 1:30 in the morning and then get it going if you wanted to.
Then there's 2 pairs that keep popping up where it's like gold and silver, and I gotta like hold the keyboard.
Yes.
Is that going to be, because I gotta like keep a glass on it and then take it off to make trades, you know?
Right.
Is there one thing when you just say
I love
no,
computers.
you know, or yeah, I don't want to see this pair anymore, and just keeps going with the other pairs?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. The programmer, to his credit, just followed instructions. And the instructions were take these pairs, take all this math, and then average it out. And with an average, you know, if you don't have all the numbers, you don't have an average. So when you drop 2 pairs off, and what happened was Swiss banking laws changed, so MIG-FX just had to drop gold and silver automatically. Let me tell you why, just because I have to. The gold and silver that you saw in there weren't actually gold and silver future contracts. They were what's called contracts for difference. You're basically gambling on the future price. You couldn't actually take physical delivery of gold. So it's this really weird hybrid kind of futures contract that doesn't trade on the exchange, and I'm sure is causing all kinds of problems with calculating prices and inventory and what the futures markets are really for. So my guess would be that's why they took them off. But yes, what Chris, the programmer, is working on now is having the software check if something drops off, you just change the number that you're averaging it by. So that way, if one of the currency pairs goes down, or you're on a platform that maybe doesn't support one of the currency pairs we're calculating, it doesn't shut everything down. Yes?
Yes, Mac. I feel the need to preface this with the fact that I'm here. It's not on? Get closer. Does this help?
There you go.
All right. I need to preface this with the fact that I am here, and I bought the initial kit, and I went to Dallas, and I have even stepped up and purchased the lifetime membership in the Plus. So either I'm really dumb, or I feel that there's something here. What I'm afraid that you aren't aware of is that there's some angst on the part of some of us, me for sure. I went to Dallas, and there were a lot of things discussed. There were promises that were made. And I'm having trouble reconciling what we talked about we were going to do in Dallas as opposed to what's happened since we've left Dallas.
Sure.
And I would like to challenge you that perhaps you'd like to invite the people that are here that were also in Dallas to maybe we could have a sit down with you, because I have found that you're really not accessible. And so when there is a concern or a problem, it doesn't go anywhere in my circumstances anyway.
Sure.
And I've put a lot of investment into you. I believe there's something here, and I want that, and I believe in you. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Sure.
But I would really appreciate the opportunity to express some concerns, get some feedback from you. Maybe I'm missing something. That's really possible.
You know, it could be. I talked with a few people from Dallas on the phone. Unfortunately, it was a little ambiguous on my part. I just didn't really understand what some of the issues were, because I know in the trades that we took after that, it was 1,100 or 1,200 points that we took out of the market. Part of the problem that we had after Dallas was that the credit markets completely imploded. And when you started having bank failures, it really affected the liquidity of the markets. We had a big shift from the New York session into the London session even, where you're starting to see a lot of the action. So the byproduct of that for me personally was I started trading a lot more. And that was something when I put out the video where the solution to that is probably going to be more group types of events where we get on a webinar during the trading day, just because, I mean, I'm trading a full 8 hours because the equity markets are just rock and roll too. But yeah, I think we can come up with something like that if we have some time. What, you mean while you're at the event here?
Well, as opposed to me making a trip down to Arizona to see you sometime? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That would, I mean, I'm saying while we're all here, I mean, there's a group of, I don't know how many people are here that were also at Dallas, and maybe they don't want to participate. Maybe they're fine. I haven't talked to all of them. A couple of them, and they were thinking that that wasn't too bad of an idea.
Yeah, we just have to work out the logistics. Because it's a good idea.
Let us not forget that we were a special inside group, and I'm just having trouble reconciling where this inside thing is for me.
Sure.
Good. Thank you.
We got the ribbon.
In your course, you touched so lightly about when you start your business, about opening a corporation.
Oh, yeah.
I have wrote to my CPA and asked him about this, hoping he would know more about it than I do, and he basically didn't. He told me to ask you, who are you trying to protect your assets from? Possibly what type of corporation are you talking?
Okay, so you get to hear my disclaimer, right? I'm not a lawyer.
Yes.
This isn't legal advice?
Know that.
Okay.
I know that.
And consult a qualified professional?
That's what I tried to do.
There are legal reasons for having a corporation, and then there are tax reasons for having a corporation. So I'll break them down into the sort of the money concerns first. I am more of an old-fashioned guy. I like a regular C corporation. The objection to the C corporation is usually the double taxation. And it's because the typical way of pulling money out of a corporation is with a dividend. There are a whole host of other ways of doing that, through contracts, through agreements with other companies, you contracting with the company, so you can pull money out in other ways. Most CPAs, when they object to a C corporation, will suggest either going with an S corp, which basically means the money that flows into the corporation goes directly to you, but the corporation provides you with legal protection. That's probably why the CPA was asking you. If you're more concerned with legal protection, an easier entity is typically an S corporation or an LLC. Just because they don't require as much paperwork, you can have one person do all of the stuff, rather than with a corporation. Depending on where you live, that can change. So a C corp can be more difficult. I like the fact that there are hundreds of years of case history behind defending a C corp, and I know basically what to do to keep me out of easy pickings for lawyers. With S corporations and LLCs, they're still kind of new in my mind. And there are very creative ways that lawyers have gotten through them, what's called piercing the corporate veil, to come after your stuff. So that moves us into the other aspect of a corporation, which is to protect your stuff. It could be you're out driving and you get into an auto accident, somebody sues you personally, you don't want them going out and getting all of your things. So the corporation will act like another person. So if your car is owned by a corporation or it's owned by a leasing company, you see what I'm saying? It limits the ways that the attorneys can come after your